Welcome back to another in-pencil ranking tier list video thing where we do a ranking tier list video thing about things that we like, and we're going to readdress the blink-182 and Angels Airwaves discography.
Wait, I thought we've already done this.
Well, I did like a couple years ago, and apparently nobody liked it. So they got like 2,000 views, and everyone on there had comments that were like, I can't believe that you're ranking this album below this album, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to do it again, including...
Except
what?
Today, I'm going to do it. It's just me. And
Yeah.
I have listened to like 3 of these albums, so it's going to be even worse.
Just serving as my comment section for this video, and I'm supposed to be able to qualify or justify my opinions. So this should be a little more interesting than the last video. But the other thing about this is that we have so the last time we did the video, it was up to 9, which is this album down here.
Number 9. Sorry, every time it's the Beatles. They got me. That's that stupid song. But anyway, let's keep going.
Anyway, since then, the Life Forms, Angels Airwaves, and then 2 One More Time albums have come out. Well, I mean, really bonus tracks, but yeah, we're gonna rank it separately. So, all right, without talking too much, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we're gonna start with the easy ones. All right, the ones that everyone can universally agree are amazing S tier, best albums on the face of the planet. There's no debate about this. These are the ones that we're gonna go for first.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. Okay, it is.
Okay. What's your guess?
It is. Hold on, let me see. It's Dude Ranch, it's Neighborhoods, and it's 9.
Right. So we're gonna go with Enema of the State first. So that is the first S tier album.
Hey,
I think there's no debate.
Yeah, I had that album when I was a kid.
Oh, all right. Before we go any further, I want to say, just to qualify everything, I love all of these albums. I love every project they've ever done, individually or collectively. Every single one. Travis Barker's album.
There's not been a single bad album or project they've done?
No, not that I'm aware of. Simple Creatures is great. The Travis Barker stuff, the stuff with Yellow Wolf is great. And we'll get into that later on when we talk about Dogs Eating Dogs. I'm trying not to make this video an hour long, but
so, yeah, we should go fast because people do not want to watch an hour-long tier ranking video,
especially whenever half of it's our banter. All right, so we got Enema of the State. That's pretty much indisputable. The best pop punk album of all time, as far as some of the lists that I've seen. If not the best, then one of like the top 5. Like maybe Dookie is up there, but I don't know what else. Maybe Punk and Drublic, the NoFX album, is up there, but Enema of the State's definitely top 5. Right. All right. So let's go for some more easy ones real quick. Let's go with We Don't Need to Whisper, which was the first Angels and Airwaves album, which everyone also seems to universally agree is an S tier album. This was like after the Blink breakup. Adam Willard, who is the drummer for Angels and Airwaves for this album, and David Kennedy, they all got together, they made this out. It's great. The third S tier album we're going to go for is Untitled. Which came out. So some people refer to this as self-titled, but it's Untitled. It came out in 2003. It was like the peak of the emo phase for Blink and a lot of other bands too. This album had a lot of different influences and a lot of different sort of soundscapes and transitions and stuff different from what you heard in previous Blink projects. A lot of it was influenced by the experimentation that was done on the Boxcar Racer album, which we'll get to in a minute. Again, the same thing goes with We Don't Need to Whisper is Untitled. Like the track listing and the flow of the album, transitions and everything, make it like a seamless sort of sonic experience that you really just need to have, just put on start to finish and just enjoy it. I guess for both of those albums. So those are kind of the easy ones. The rest of these albums get a little more subjective, I would say.
Oh, I will say also on the because I'm adding commentary on this Untitled or self-titled, depending on what list you look at. Album,
Untitled. Yes.
sure. Sorry.
What's your point? What are you going to?
It has their second biggest hit in the U.S. Top 100 with
I missed you.
I Miss You at number 42. That's
Mhm.
right. They have only one top 40 hit. So by technical definition, they are a one-hit wonder. Which someday we need to talk about how one-hit wonders is a terrible title because how they define one-hit wonders. But yes, by definition, they only have one top 40 hit. Barely.
Which came off in the middle of the state. All the small things.
Yeah, all the small things. I guess I should have said that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know nothing else about it.
We're gonna go for some more low hanging fruit here. Some easier ones to pull up into the S tier since
it'd actually be the high hanging fruit at this point.
Right. Sure. We're going with Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which is the best album title for any album ever.
When you're 15 and you're just like, oh my goodness, you know what it means? Wait, when did this album come out? Were we like 15?
It came out in 2000. Yeah. Or was it 2001? It may have been 2001. Yeah.
June 12th, 2001.
Yeah.
So, close enough to 15.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't need to say much about this album. Anyone who knows about Blink knows this album. So,
this was their first number one album in the U.S. First
really,
album.
I figured it would be In the Middle of the State.
I think In the Middle of the State was more of a slow burn, so it never got to the top of the charts.
Fair enough.
But Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was the album right after it, so of course they were already well established, and everybody wanted this album.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go with the next album here, Boxcar Racer, also an S tier album, and this one didn't. I mean, I think this was like more of a core like Blink pop punk scene. This wasn't a mainstream album like the rest of these. Not the rest of them. Yeah, same thing goes. It's very creative, different from everything else. More heavily like punk influence, apparently. Some guest features on Boxcar Racer. Mark Hoppus makes an appearance for one song. Tim Armstrong from Rancid comes on. What's that?
If Mark Hoppus makes an appearance, does that mean that's a Blink-182 song?
I've always considered Elevator to be a Blink-182 song that just appears on the Boxcar Racer album. So yeah, I would think so. But
this is a Ship of Theseus question, but it's always a weird one to me.
So yeah, Boxcar Racer S tier. Let's see, what else can I put in the S tier? I'm thinking I Empire, which was the second Angels and Airwaves album. I ranked this a little lower last time because I at that point when I was ranking it, I was doing this list last time. I think I was a little burnt out on it because I've listened to this stuff so much that I think these songs got a little burnt out, especially like Secret Crowds. I used to listen to that all the time. It's one of my top, probably top 10 favorite Angels and Airwaves songs. But yeah, resting on it and then coming back to it, I think I Empire is an S tier album. So for everyone in the comments that posted last time on my previous video, there, I've moved it to the S tier. I agree with the comments. So there we go. Hope everyone's happy.
Okay, so this one also gets probably my award for best cover art. Best cover art. It's really cool. Star Warsian or what are they called? Like sci-fi. Because this came out. What year did this come out?
This was like 2007, I think.
So yeah, this has a very 70s vibe to me, or early 80s vibe, or
yeah, maybe 2008. I can't remember exactly. It was 2007, 2008.
Which is your favorite cover art of all these albums?
Of all albums?
Yeah, of all the albums we're talking about today.
I think probably Neighborhoods. Either Neighborhoods or maybe Love Part 2. I'm not sure. I'm going to say Neighborhoods.
Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite one? What is your favorite album cover art? Because the thing about cover art is like it gets different people, and art is subjective. Art is subjective. I don't know how many times we have to say this, but art is subjective. So if what we say doesn't agree with what you say, tell us in the comments what you think are the top. But also know art is subjective. So that means we all have different opinions, and that's great.
Sure. If you say so. Although your opinion is right and my opinion is wrong. I mean, the other way around. something like that.
Yes, my opinion's right. Number 1 is California.
We're gonna get to that
here.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with one more S tier album, and then we're gonna start working on the A tier. So I'm gonna go with Neighborhoods, and people are probably gonna debate that all day long because people say Neighborhoods was weak. They recorded it whenever they were physically, like they had gotten back together, but they were during the recording sessions, they would do their pieces separately, like they weren't in the studio all together at the same time like they were for previous albums. Like
who do they think they are? The Beatles?
I mean, well, famously, there's a whole MTV documentary about them recording, or it was recorded while they were doing the Untitled album. But for Neighborhoods, they weren't all physically together, so that, and some opinionate that hurt the production or something. Also, I believe Neighborhoods was the first album they had recorded without the producer Jerry Finn, who had passed away. So there may be some differences there. Neighborhoods has some of my favorite Blink songs of all time on it. There are a few weak points that I don't go back to as much. Like Hearts All Gone is not my favorite song of all time. Neither is Fighting the Gravity. But all in all, it's a pretty solid album. So I'm going to leave it in the S tier. Moving on. Let's see.
Are we at the A tier now?
I think we're at the A tier. I may move something else to the S tier going forward, but I think I'm at the A tier. Let's just go ahead and start with Buddha.
You have a lot of albums on the S tier. That seems it's not a bell curve like it should be, right? Where a few things on the S, a few things on the D, and everything on the B.
Well, we're talking about my favorite bands, Blink and Angels Airwaves.
That's true. So everything's S.
Yeah, so it's subjective. I'm trying to be a little more objective than maybe I was last time. Last time I was very much my opinion, but now I'm just trying to think about things a little more objectively and how things flow into the narrative of these bands. And so I'm trying to include a few more criteria in my judgment of these things. But it's completely subjective. So I'm going to go with Buddha here. I'm going to put Buddha in the C tier. Buddha was their first, not even their first album. Well, I'm starting from the beginning now. So
okay.
Buddha was their demo album. It's very rough in production. The songs, there's a carousels on here, which is great. Most of the other songs don't hold up. Now, a lot of the songs made it over to Cheshire Cat. And Cheshire Cat is the actual first Blink album. Buddha's more of a demo. Dude Ranch, I'm going to put in the A tier.
Dude Ranch is probably the first album most people, if you got into Blink-182 early, this is probably the album you got into Blink-182, right?
Damn It and Josie. This one was still with Scott Rayner, right? So, there's no Travis Barker, so that kind of takes away from it. All right, so moving on from there, we're going to move Love and Love Part 2 straight into the A tier because both these albums kind of go together. And sonically, they're kind of consistent. They were released as physical copies together. Love came out as a free download first, and then later on was re-released in a physical format with Love Part 2. They're a bit, the songs on Love Part 2 are a little shorter, but like they just feel shorter, I guess. The ones on Love Part 1, they all have these like instrumental interludes between a lot of the songs. The album flows well, but also as you're listening to it, there's like pauses and breaks in between some of the songs. Love Part 2 has a little more of a consistent flow to it, I guess. And so there are some differences, but I go back to these albums all the time. So there we go. Love and Love Part 2. All right. Now things get a little more difficult. I'm going to start with some of the newer stuff first. Because,
okay. We're now no longer going to the old story. Like, okay, now let's switch things up because this is hard, and you apparently don't want me to start putting rankings of these albums. I don't even know what they are.
Well, I'm grading. We're grading 24 albums here, so it's not exactly short work.
Any D? How about that? Let's see. First of all, is there any D ranking albums?
Any D ranking albums? Yeah, I would say.
Let's hear why you have a D ranking album on here of your favorite bands of all time.
Well, let's talk about this era of Angels and Airwaves first, because
no.
because
no.
so
this era.
in 2015, late 2014, early 2015, Tom DeLonge like officially left Blink for the second time, and he put out the Dreamwalker, which was a completely different album from what he put out with Love Part 2, We Don't Need to Whisper, and I Empire. But so I'm not putting the Dreamwalker at D. If anything, I'd put the Dreamwalker in B. Dreamwalker, it was an independent kind of release.
That was such a tease there. Like we talked about D-rated albums, and you went to the Dreamwalker.
I'm working on it. Would you let me finish?
Okay.
So anyway, so Dreamwalker, I think, is a B album. I think there's nothing, like I said, objectively, there's nothing wrong with the album. It's just it's not as good as some of the others. So I guess that's where I'll stand on that. Same thing with Chasing Shadows. Chasing Shadows came out as like a sort of a accompaniment to a Secret Machines book, about UFOs and stuff like that. Chasing Shadows is it's only 4 songs, but it's amazing. But it is only 4 songs, so I put it there.
These aren't just fully albums. These are also like EPs.
Yeah, this is an EP. This is 10-song album. Of Nightmares was another EP that came out and accompanied with the Poet Anderson books, and it was more of a sort of electronic sort of, I guess, I don't know what they call it. Like, it was different even for Angels and Airwaves, which is a sonic template that is massive. Even for Angels and Airwaves, it was completely different. I'm pretty sure this was basically just Tom DeLonge and Ilan Rubin basically by themselves doing this. And actually, for all 3 of these projects, it was just Tom and Ilan. And but there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing bad about Of Nightmares. It's just it doesn't hold up as much, or doesn't like hold the same weight as some of the other projects. Into the Night is an amazing song. It's probably the only like actual song on the album. Home is really good, but it's kind of a slow burn. The other 2 songs on this album, the other 2 tracks on this album rather, are really more or less just like mostly instrumental, electronic, electro pop kind of just. All I'm saying is, if anything were to go to a D tier, I'd put Of Nightmares in the D tier. But that's not to say that I don't love this EP, because I do. That'd be the weakest of the 24. I would say is Of Nightmares.
You're not saying it's bad. You're just saying of all the albums, EPs on this list, it is the most nightmarish one to listen to.
I suppose you could say that. But like I said, there's no F tier over here, and that's intentional, right? None of these projects are bad. But
there's also no S plus tier. Can you believe that? He doesn't even have a super tier.
Yeah, I know. I don't. If I did, it would be. I'll do this. Here's the S.
Oh yeah, remember? Didn't we do that with one of our other rankings where we put some halfway through because we were so indecisive?
Yeah. All right, there's your S plus. Those 2 are S plus. Maybe Untitled S plus. So there you go. There's your 3 S plus. But I'm not going to do that. But if I were, that's how it would go. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Dogs Eating Dogs. This is another 4-song EP from 2012, if I remember, like December 2012.
I can look that
most
up.
Most Blink fans love this album, love this EP. Except for, yeah. See, I'm pretty good. I know my shit. Anyway, most Blink fans say this is like basically just neighborhoods, like bonus tracks for neighborhoods, more or less. And it sounds like that a lot. The biggest problem most people have with this EP is that Yellow Wolf has a verse on Pretty Little Girl, and they don't like raps. They don't like the rap verse. I think it fits perfectly. I think it's great. It breaks things up a little bit. Like, it's I think Pretty Little Girl is an amazing song. The other 3 songs are awesome. When I Was Young is probably one of my favorite, like, again, one of my top 5 favorite Blink songs. So I actually think Dogs Eating Dogs is A tier, even though it's only a 4-song EP. So
Five songs.
is it 5 songs? All right, my
When I
apologies.
was young, Dogs Eating Dogs, Disaster, Boxing Day, Pretty Little Girl.
See, that's why you're here. I forgot about Boxing Day. Yep. Okay.
I'm the fact checker because I cannot give any opinions on Blink-182 outside of Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, and One More Time. I do know a little bit about One More Time, I guess. A little.
So now we're gonna go with Plus 44. Plus 44 was the post-Untitled, post-Blink breakup, continuation of Blink, but without Tom DeLonge, with Travis Barker and Mark Hoppus. I'm putting it in the B tier because I don't like it as much as I like these other projects. I know people are going to be pissed off about that, but that's just how it is. It's just not as strong a project as the other ones. Yeah, even the production on it is not as great. So there you go.
Of the 3 main members of Blink-182, they've all done an album just with the other member. Like, not just with the other member, but minus one of the 3 members.
Yeah, so like Boxcar Racer is Tom and Travis, and then Plus 44 is Mark and Travis, and then
all the
California Deluxe and 9 are Mark and Travis with Matt Skiba, and then strangely enough, side note, most people know this already, but if you don't,
I don't probably.
Adam Willard played drums in Angels and Airwaves for the first 2 albums. In fact, that's him right there on I Empire. And then he left Angels and Airwaves and he went to a band called Against Me. He played with him for a while, and he wound up joining Alkaline Trio, which is Matt Skiba's main project. So it's kind of like Matt Skiba and Alkaline Trio, kind of like it's like full circle kind of thing. And now Blink and Blink and Alkaline Trio are playing a concert together in LA for the Wildfires. So it's all kind of full circle. It's like a family. It's kind of cool. So.
Yeah. And also, we didn't say, but Tom and Mark albums, the early Blink-182 albums, don't have Travis on it.
So true.
We did. You said it earlier, but just to bring that back, just in case someone's like, where's the last group?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're all like, we really need to do, instead of also not a tier list, but like a connection of how these 3 artists in Blink-182, Travis, Mark, and Tom. Wait, don't they have like a name like the Travis, Mark, and Tom show or something, or Mark, Travis?
The Mark, Tom, and Travis show. It's a live.
That's
album.
It. I was like, I know I'm going to say this wrong, and then people are going to be like, why doesn't that sound right? And that's why, because of the album. We should do another video where we just talk about how all the influences, how they've been in bands with these artists who've been in bands with these artists, and see how far out the web goes.
Oh yeah, I mean,
do you imagine?
I actually think the biggest web is Travis Barker, because he's done production and everything else with fucking everybody. And then the smallest would be Tom, because he's basically just stuck to these 2 or 3 bands, and he's had like 2 guest features in his entire career. So anyway, speaking of Tom, let's talk about the Demos, To the Stars Demos album. And I'm not really sure where to put this, to be honest. It's 8 songs, so it's kind of like it's almost like an EP, but it's 8 songs, and one of them is an instrumental kind of Angels and Airwaves-esque sounding thing called Landscapes. The other songs on it have a wide variety of sounds to them. Some of them sound like sort of like more hardcore punk, like a song called Circle Jerk Pit. And then some of them sound like Blink. Like there's a song called what is that song called? The California song. Golden Showers in the Golden State. That's what it's called. So just think about the name of that song. So yeah, I'm gonna put. I'm not really sure. I think I put it in the B tier, because it's not a finished project. It's just demo songs. I kind of get the sense that the song New World on that, which
You've
was
heard it
basically
here. Adam does not like To the Stars.
no, I do like To the Stars,
I
but
thought you
I'm
said
just
D tier.
no
You said
B.
B,
B
B.
is in
Okay.
Bravo. There you
Okay.
go. There's nothing D tier. So yeah, the song New World and the music video for it were kind of like his post Blink-182 breakup angry at his bandmates song. So I think he kind of regrets putting that song out. But he still uses some of these other songs like promo material for his projects that he works on it with To the Stars. But yeah, it's B tier. There you go. All right, now let's get to one more time. I want to talk about the California, the Matt Skiba era last, I think, because that seems to be the most contentious, honestly. So we'll talk about these three next. So we'll talk about
Okay.
One More Time. One More Time was the second reunion album. Came out in
And it felt like a bigger reunion. Like this
oh
was
yeah. This is like the post Mark Cancer. Yeah, it's an amazing. The production people complained about a lot, but Charles Barker did the production. I don't really see a problem with the production. It sounds really full. Like, yeah, there's some auto tune used in some places, but I mean, Tom DeLonge has never had the best singing voice. He's always used some sort of pitch correction in his singing. So, but that's just kind of, I mean, it's punk music, right? So it's not supposed to sound like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but every song on here is amazing, and I'm actually thinking that I'm going to put it in the S tier. I gotta think about that for a second. S tier for One More Time.
S
Is
tier for
S
One More
tier?
Time.
Here's the thing. Here's the question: is One More Time the same quality, the same catchiness, the same? See, this might be just like it's still new. I really love it because it's still new, kind of thing. Me thinking that way. Is it the best? Is it on the same level as Enema of the State or Untitled or We Don't Need a Whisper? That's the question I have to ask myself. I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I'm leaving it there. One More Time, Part 2.
It is one of their number one albums. One of their albums that went in the U.S. We're talking U.S. that went to number one. One of only 1, 2, 3 albums that went to number one in the U.S.
See, so yeah, maybe it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know what the other two are?
I'm guessing Untitled and Enema of the State.
Nope.
Untitled and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah, I already said Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah.
And the other one you will never guess.
Is it not Untitled?
It is not Untitled.
What is it?
California.
Really? Okay.
Yes, California went to number one.
We'll talk about that in a second. Sometimes things ranking high on the charts doesn't mean they're good. Just like a Beyonce.
Well, it was their first album released in 5 years. That also, it's people long for the Blink, yearn for the Blink, and they got the Blink.
They DeLong for the Blink. Sorry, that
well,
was bad.
It was California, so they had to DeLong a little longer, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay, so One More Time, Part 2. This was just basically 10 bonus tracks, 2 of which were released on a deluxe edition of the regular album. But there's only like half of it I really love, and the other half I'm like okay about. So I'm actually going to put One More Time, Part 2. This is just the 10 extra songs that they put out. I'm putting it B tier because that actually fits. That actually, I feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
All right. Life Forms came out in 2021. Angels Airwaves album. This was like their for Angels Airwaves. Their last album was The Dreamwalker. So this has been like 6 or 7 years since they put out an album. Yeah, every song is great on this album except for A Fire in a Nameless Town, which is like a grind for me to get through. So because of that, I think I'll put it in the A tier. I'm not going to put it in the B tier or the S tier. I love this album, but there's that one song that I just can't really get through. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay. Now we got to talk about like the elephant in the room, which is the Matt Skiba era of Blink. This is the 2010 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 era I'm gonna start with California, I guess, and say I really liked California. Like, I didn't think there was a bad song on California. There was some experimental stuff on there, just some things they did different. Um, was it as good as Tom DeLonge era? No. Do Matt and Mark's voice kind of sound similar, especially whenever it first came out, and you couldn't really tell the difference between who was who in some ways. But
Are you going to keep asking questions that you're going to answer yes
I'm
to?
asking rhetorical. I'm putting the comments to rest so they don't come out and be, well, the production on this album was actually.
We don't want to put the comments to rest. We want people to comment and talk and give opinions.
Okay, fine. It's B tier. All right, there you go. That's where it goes. That's where it goes for me. But I feel like the deluxe version.
Your view is California did not know how to party.
Right. But I feel like the deluxe album, the bonus tracks that were released on the deluxe version, which was basically a whole separate album, and I feel like it's a whole separate album, was actually better than the original album. So I always put that higher than the deluxe second disc, I think, is better than the original album. So that's how I normally put that. But then they're going to say, well, putting California in the same tier as Love or Dude Ranch is absolutely insane. And I'm going to say, you know what? That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. So here you go. How about them? Yeah.
Adam's a little freaking out about the comments. So if you could drop him some love and give him some.
Yeah. Make me feel better about these bad decisions I'm making about this.
It had a little trauma from the last video, apparently, even though there weren't that many bad comments, but I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, last one is 9. 9 is C tier. But the thing with 9, it gets a bad rap because it's not as bad as people say that it is. Yeah, is there a little more like electronic and poppy influence to it? Yes. Is the Dark Side video fucking cringe? Yes. But still, it's a good album. Like, there isn't a song on the album that I think I skip through if I listen to it all the way through. It suffers the same problems that California suffered through, is the vocals, but it's still a good album. But I'm gonna put it in the C tier to save face.
C tier, 9C.
Yeah.
And that's the list.
That's the list. Let me look at this for a second. Let me think about these decisions and see if I agree with myself on these.
See if you agree with yourself. So while Adam's doing that, make sure if you like this video or like videos like this, like and subscribe, comment below, all that fun stuff. Again, tell us what cover art is your favorite, and also what are your S albums? What are your S tier albums? Let's make it positive. I mean, 2025 has had a lot of negativity in it. Let's talk about what you really like.
See, this is why I brought you on to do this with me.
Yeah,
see, I appreciate that.
Let's make 2025 about the things we enjoy. We've talked a lot about the things we don't enjoy. Apparently, the Matt Skiba era.
Which isn't as bad as people say that it is. Matt Skiba is actually a really great songwriter, and if you listen to Alkaline Trio, you'll know that.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes you have people in a band that it just doesn't fit. It was really interesting idea. I can name several artists who joined bands and like, wow, it's a really good band. It's a really good artist. They do not go together. And we've seen it, and they don't last because.
I mean, I feel that way about when Flyleaf changed their singer and when Linkin Park changed their singer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I feel that way when Audio Adrenaline put Kevin Max as their lead singer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the people who the crossover of people who started out in Christian music and then moved to blink-182, which you think isn't a lot, but it actually is.
Right. So yeah, I think we're good with this. Let me know what you think in the comments.